Hey everyone, I'm back with the promised second video, and much like with the first video, this is actually my second time trying to do this. I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out too long. So, I'm not sure how much everyone remembers about this lovely girl. So I'm going to put a link to the in-depth character video for her. That'll be in the description. But one of the big mysteries I had was I was trying to figure out why she has so much trouble moving, and why she has the burns. And I was kind of toying with two opposing explanations. One, that she's cursed, or two, that it was just an accident. It was just nature. She got caught in a fire. And I kind of decided to combine what I liked about the curse idea and what I liked about the just it being fire idea. What I liked about the curse idea was this idea that someone did it to her, that it wasn't something like there was someone to blame. But I like the idea from the fire that it wasn't magical. It just was normal. Because as much as I love fantasy, and I love fantasy, I also do like science. And I really wanted to have the scientific viewpoint be a bit more well represented, have a bit more representation in the Curiosity Shop. Just because so much of the explanations basically boils down to, well, it's magic. And I want to have something that the answer wouldn't be, well, it's magic, it's, well, it's science. That's also how you know that I'm gotten excited about school, because I am very into science these days. To quote Welcome to Night Vale. I'm very into science these days. There we go. So, the explanation I came up for her burns, you can see, was actually sort of the result of looking at things on Wikipedia, which makes my mind make strange leaps. And one of them was I somehow stumbled upon some articles talking about radiation and radiation burns and the effects and all that good stuff. And, well, not good stuff. I mean, radiation's horrible. But, if you think about it, a sunburn is a radiation burn. A sunburn is a UV radiation burn. And at least on people with white skin, what happens if you get a radiation burn is it goes very pink, very red. Much like Emmalinda's neck is very pink, it's very red. Might be a bit easier to view at the back. There you go. So once I made that leap, I went, wait a moment. It could be a radiation burn. And I decided that, well, it could be that she was, there was an accident or something, but I'm going to keep what I liked about the curse, that there was someone to blame. And I combined that with the radiation aspect, and maybe you can see where I'm going with this, maybe you can't. Medical experimentation. Emmalinda was experimented on. And I'm not sure, I'm still working out why she was deemed to be, not human in some way, or worthy of study in some way. But whatever the reason, she was experimented on for a number of years. And it wasn't just that they experimented on her, it was also that some of the scientists and some of the personnel would befriend her just because she was all alone. And then she really wanted to connect with people. So they would befriend her, and then they would exploit that relationship. To use her in some way, to get her to agree to something. And also just for the hell of it. Because they didn't see her as human. So Emmalinda, because of that, Emmalinda does not trust easily, and even when she does consider someone her friend, she's constantly, like, testing them. It's part of why she's so abrasive with Benji. She's kind of trying to push him away because she doesn't want to have a relationship with someone because they could exploit that relationship. But of course, she also has the very human desire to have a connection with someone. So she's very abrasive, very sarcastic to him. She's trying to push him away to protect herself, but she does really want to connect with someone else. And how Emmalinda got away from wherever she was being experimented at, well, she didn't really get away on her own. She didn't escape or anything like that. What happened was one of the last experiments they did on her involved some radiation, and that's what led to her burns, and a subsequent experiment compounded already her limited mobility. That, coupled with the radiation, meant that she has an extremely hard time moving. It's extremely painful for her. And basically the scientists who were in charge looked at the results, and went, well, can't really do anything more with her anymore. Nope, can't really test anymore on her. So they decided to get rid of her. And I'm not sure yet whether it was that they tossed her in the lake, or if they pushed her towards the lake. But she almost drowned. She was going drowned, which is a horrible way to go. Especially since she couldn't move. Especially since she can't move, so she couldn't swim to save herself. Thankfully, Miss Celeste saved her. Miss Celeste pulled her out of the water and brought her to the curiosity shop. So Miss Celeste is actually one of the only people that Emmalinda is actually nice to. She doesn't completely trust Miss Celeste. She does. She is worried that Miss Celeste has ulterior motives, that she's going to be like the scientist and is going to use this life debt against her. But it's been a little bit of time, and Miss Celeste hasn't yet, so Emmalinda is slowly getting a bit used to the idea that maybe not everyone is like the personnel that she had experience being with. So this video is very long, and I'm just going to end on one little last note. Emmalinda here, and Benji. Like I said, Emmalinda is really teasing and can say some really mean stuff to Benji, but he kind of shrugs it off, and he doesn't actually usually respond that badly. But he can also be really mean on his own, and some of it's unintentionally being really mean, just because Benji has some really self-destructive behaviors, such as getting blackout drunk, and then his drinking buddies just leaving him on the doorstep of the curiosity shop, or opening the door and tossing him inside, which has led to some pretty bad experiences, like Emmalinda being behind the desk, shouting for the statues to come and move Benji into the recovery position so he doesn't choke and die on his own vomit. And you may be asking yourself, well, why doesn't Emmalinda do that herself? Well, she can't move. So she's just sitting behind her desk, watching one of the only people she cares about dying in front of her while she's yelling for help. And that has happened a handful of times. That's Benji being unintentionally really, really mean. But intentionally mean, when he's hungover, Emmalinda sometimes wakes him up by singing, because she's a beautiful singing voice, but she'll sing to wake him up. His response is usually, like, shut up, and I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, please die, just die. But usually he's not that mean. Usually he's not. Okay. Bye, everyone.